Hello everyone, my name is Hồng Quế. Today, I'm so happy to be here to introduce to you about the topic Chiến binh for day of today. Welcome to Cbta90ngay. Okay, so now let's start.
I arrived in Guatemala. When you hear a statement, a sentence, you just say, ah, or oh, okay? You need to say that, show that you understand this is not a question, okay? A statement is not a question. So, when you hear a statement, say, ah. For example, I arrive in Guatemala. Ah. Okay? The second thing I will do is ask a question you know the answer to. For example, where do I arrive? Okay. I will stop. You say the answer. Okay? You must say the answer to every question. I say, I arrive in Guatemala. Where did I arrive?
I arrive in Guatemala.
You say, Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Okay, easy. And number 3, I might ask a question you don't know the answer to. If you don't know the answer, just guess. Say any answer. But you must answer every question. Use your pause button if necessary. Okay, let's begin. Okay, here we go. I arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead, November 1st.
Yes.
Did I arrive in Guatemala?
I arrived Guatemala.
Yes, I arrived in Guatemala.
November 1st.
Where did I arrive? Guatemala, right? I arrived in Guatemala. I arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead, November 1st. Who arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead?
I arrived.
Well, me, AJ.
Guatemala, November.
I arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead,
November
1st. Did I arrive in Guatemala on November 3rd?
I arrived Guatemala.
No, I didn't arrive in Guatemala on November 3rd. I arrived in Guatemala on November 1st. What day did I arrive in Guatemala?
I arrived
November 1st. I arrived in Guatemala on November 1st. Where did I arrive on November 1st?
Guatemala.
Well, Guatemala, right? I arrived in Guatemala on November 1st. I arrived in Guatemala on the Day of the Dead, November 1st. I was curious about this holiday, so I went to the cemetery to see what was happening. Was I angry about this holiday? No, I wasn't angry about this holiday. Was I sad about this holiday? No, I wasn't sad about this holiday. I was curious about this holiday. Who was curious about this holiday? Well, I was, AJ. I was curious about this holiday. What was I curious about? The holiday, right? I was
I
curious
was
about
curious
the
about
holiday.
the holiday.
Which holiday was I curious about? Which holiday was I curious about? The Day of the
The Day
Dead.
of the Dead.
I was curious about the Day of the Dead. Was I curious about the Day of the Dead? Or was I curious about...
Okay, that's all about my summary. Thank you so much. Goodbye.